Hello, what's up and welcome everyone. My name is Miss Quinn and I make videos on video game reviews, news about the video game industry and the people in it. And today we're going to be running from the cops with Schedule 1 into their current history. Welcome to Developer Dive. This game was released on early access in March 24 of this year, and as of recording it currently sits at number 26 at the most played game on Steam. There is also an overwhelmingly amount of well-deserved positive reviews, one saying, "Awesome job, Tyler. Can't wait to see what happens with updates and DLCs. 10 out of 10 will play again and again." One guy essentially says how great this game is with being on early access compared to what EA puts out, and still has bugs after, a month of its initial release. Another well-deserved comment saying, "Graphics do not matter. This game is a golden nugget. Majority of game studios have a huge team of dev that cannot create a game this good. Here, just Tyler, graffiti artist and music producer, has created something I really got addicted to. Great work. Waiting for more content. Tyler, please do not abandon this project and make further updates." It's a good thing that, as this comment suggests, the user does say that Tyler has a roadmap to what he'll be essentially working on in the next update, which y'all already know how much I love this. I love it when developers let consumers know what stage of the development that they're in and what part of the development stage that they're in. If only devs from the day before knew how to do that, then maybe they wouldn't have the whole scam issue at the very beginning. But in the very end, it really didn't matter anyway. But then that would also require for them to actually work on their game and not just allegedly buy all their assets. Which, if you want a video deep dive of that whole situation, please do let me know. But as everyone points out, this is just one man, which is why asking for a mobile version of this game is just funny to me. Like, dude, it's just one man working on the game. Like, chill. Anyway, it's safe to say that the community on the Steam page looks to be very active as well, which is another great sign to a good game. Now, I do realize that I've never said the type of game that this is. This is an entrepreneur simulator, as you know, to not say the word that YouTube really doesn't like. And being as an entrepreneur simulator, it isn't the easiest thing when there's already a bit of a pickle with another simulator game developed by Byte Runners. The important part that is needed is that they're not the publishers. The publishers are Movie Games SA. An investigation was launched looking into Schedule 1 by Movie Games, which of course upset a lot of the fans. I'm assuming that people also thought Byte Runners were responsible for it, since they later put out a statement on Twitter saying, "In the light of the recent Movie Games versus Schedule 1 legal investigation controversy, I would like to state that we, Byte Runners, the development studio behind Candy Dealer Simulator series, do not have any ill intentions towards neither Schedule 1, TVGS, or the game community. Actions taken by our publisher, Movie Games SA, are part of their initial policy and business interests, which we have no influence over. We were not informed about their plans and are also surprised by this course of action. We are currently in talks with Movie Games on the matter. For now, we do not publicly neither condone nor approve the actions before these talks come to any conclusions. We would like to ask everyone on both DDS and Schedule 1 communities to be patient and not spread unnecessary negativity or misinformation. We congratulate the success of Schedule 1 to TVGS and would like every gamer to enjoy and support any game they choose. Our main focus as the dev team is improving the DDS IP, which also includes learning on the Schedule 1 massive success and our community feedback on it. All we ask for now is your understanding. Then on April 15, they once again posted another statement. Dear fans and communities of both Candy Dealer Simulator and Schedule 1, after managing the ongoing drama on our side, analyzing the situation, listening to various opinions and feedbacks, and having multiple discussions with both internally in the studio and with our publisher, we wanted to provide an update on our stance regarding the Schedule 1 infringement investigation launched by our publisher, Movie Games SA. We want to state that despite the fact that we do see many similarities between the games and that some aspects of Schedule 1 were probably heavily inspired by DDS, we as the developers do not feel like we are being robbed by anyone. Mind that we are not lawyers, and we base the following on our personal feelings about the matter. In our opinion, Schedule 1 has its own vibe, freshness, and ideas that derive from the concept of DDS1, but expand on it and bring them in its own shape and style. Frankly, we don't care how this relates to copyrights and fair competition laws, but we think these kinds of inspirations are abundant in video game development, create and improve games, and even if they sometimes cross the lines, are in general a good thing for the industry and gaming as a whole. We base our stance on our personal opinions on the matter as developers and gamers. If we had a choice in this, we would not pursue any legal actions against Schedule 1 in any shape or form. Considering we do not own DDS IP, we do not have direct influence over the decisions surrounding the investigation or our publisher's policy. However, we have expressed our concerns and opinions to them directly. We will actively work on voicing our stance during this investigation. We want this to end well for everyone and do not want anyone affected to face this kind of negativity, fear, or hatred. That's not why we make games, and that's not what we stand for. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking with me through all of that. I do know that it's a lot of reading, but there hasn't been any update on that end as of late when looking at the Movie Games' Twitter account. The last update they posted anything about on the matter was on April 8th with just your basic statement that it's an investigation and that it's not a lawsuit, which I'll give them that since it's not at all a lawsuit. But still, I kind of want to know what's up, you know? It's a simulator game that at the end of the day, a lot of simulator games are very similar to each other. I feel like they're taking notes from Power World versus Nintendo lawsuit, which is still ongoing, mind you. Byte runners even say that those kinds of inspirations are clear in game development and are common, and yes, they are. If game developers got investigated and sued every time a game was even remotely similar to another, then no one else would want to make any other game. Schedule 1 has their own style, and honestly, at first, I didn't really like their art style, but damn, it grew on me. I absolutely love the art style, the graffiti on the walls, and the way that the people speak. I don't know, it's such a charming game. And again, yes, it has your basic simulator games that it has on every simulator games, but I like it. Even the way that you drive, I don't know. I don't really play that many PC games, but this is a game I do want to keep playing. Currently, Tyler is also going through another set of loops as well, with his game being shown in Australia. And for those of you who do not know, games generally need a rating in order to be bought or sold. Many think it's just for physical copies, but no, ratings also are needed for digital copies, which I understand if a lot of people don't know this as well. To anyone in Australia, you might have noticed Schedule 1 is hidden on Steam. Don't worry, the game hasn't been banned, but it turns out all games sold in Australia need to receive a classification/age rating. I thought this was only required for console and physical releases. I'm contacting the ratings agency today and getting this resolved ASAP. Apologies for the inconvenience. And this is when one man asked about the phone port of the game. Like, he's just a one-man team, dude. Like, I understand when people love the game and that's great and they want it with any single port that they have, but keep your expectations at a reasonable level since he could only do so much. And there is already a Schedule 1 candy, you know, simulator type of game on the Play Store, but that's going to be released. And also notice, please know, guys, that this is made by Rock Rex Games, not TVGS. And yes, you better believe I already signed up for it to see what it's going to be about. And yes, I also joined Schedule 1's Discord already. I love that when joining the Discord, you right away get 3 of the most common asked questions, and he right away answers. How much will it cost? Will it have multiple language support? Which is not surprising that it will be focused on it after its actual release, and if it will be available on console or other platforms. He does mention that it won't be available on release, which is to be expected, but that in the future it depends on how gracious Sony and Microsoft are. Trello, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is where Tyler, as I mentioned before, has a developer roadmap so you can also keep track of what he's honestly working on next. On May 22nd of this year is when we received the next update on the map as shown. This update focuses on employee stuff like replacing their beds for lockers instead, which is great because they should be making me more money and not sleeping. The lockers will be used to save space and store more things that you want. Also, item slot filters where you can use and tell your minions which items should or shouldn't go in a particular slot. And if you've been wanting employee transfers, then now we have them as well. Small improvements were also added into the game, like increased storage unit employee capacity. My bad, that was a lot. To 3, to name a few. But one thing I love about the updates, and any updates for that matter, are bug fixes. Every time I see bug fixes, it makes me happy because it lets me know that the developers care for what state their game is in. Now, when this update was announced, there were many mixed reactions on the beautiful cesspool of Twitter when the update was announced to be released. While many did tell him how hard he's worked and in general giving him thanks for working on the game, there was one that stood out to me personally, which in all honesty, it sounded like the dude was just angry. These updates seem like stuff that with most other games would be more so quality of life rather than being the main focus for the update. At this point, I consider it greed to not hire more developers to work on this game, and the snail's pace is killing the game. Sure, 30K is signs of a healthy community, but there has been absolutely nothing worth coming back to the game for, and that's why there is no influx of players. This game is the same game since the release. No hype of big upcoming updates, just small whatever updates like this one. Tyler, we made you into a wealthy person. The least you can do is hire more people to work with the community and actually give us something worth hype for. Now, I usually try to give the benefit of the doubt, and I get that he says that we made Tyler wealthy, but like I really don't think it's greed at all, not to mention take away the amount that Steam more than likely does take away for their percentage, then the taxes that he more than likely has to also pay to Australia, then the money that he also has to spend in order to work out getting the situation, the situation fixed when it comes to making the game available in Australia. None of that is cheap, and neither is it if you really have a busy schedule. I get that he wants certain things, but maybe tackling small accomplishment is much easier than him not being able to finish the game because he would just feel so overwhelmed. It's not as simple as saying just hire people. And this is just me, but it just seems like this person wants everything to be out right away, which is not the case for most indie titles. Essentially saying, hey, we bought your game, now do what I specifically say, is very interesting to say the least, but it seems like he's just wanting to argue with everybody in the comment section who even has anything to say about it, because he's just going on and on and on with people. But regardless of what Tyler works on next, I'm still going to be looking forward to anything that he puts out. I think we should commend developers for showing us what they're working on instead of keeping us in the dark about everything. I don't think we should be harsh to them at all. But that's just my point of view. Not like this one guy who literally went, full blown mad just because of that. Well, guys, that's it for me. Let me know if you want me to dive into more developers for videos just like this one. More than likely, they will be just for indie developers. Let me know if there's anything else that you'll like for me to cover, and have an amazing rest of your day.